I'm Eric Hayden,
I'm Nick Mason.
and this is Neon Static. Welcome to episode 4 of Neon Static. We're back. We have liked playing Netrunner since the last time we recorded. Nick, have you also liked it?
Yes, I have enjoyed playing Netrunner.
Oh, what's going on?
Not too much. How about you? I actually, to be honest, I haven't played since the startup tournament. I need to change up my decks and take all of my standard cards out of plastic and all that other fun stuff. So,
yep. The startup tournament, of which today's episode is the subject of. No,
Nope.
Didn't do that right.
no, yeah, you got that exactly backwards.
Backwards.
Yep.
Whose episode topic is of itself?
Man, I'm glad we can't edit this.
I'm not editing anything. So yeah, today we're going to talk about the startup tournament that we held, and we had some surprising success as far as turnout is concerned.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was really surprised.
17 people in total showed up.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get fewer than were the total registered. You know, I just day of, things come up, people can't make it. But no, we actually went, 4 over the registration on Always Be Running?
I think so. I think maybe we had 12 or 13 registered the morning of, and we were thinking maybe we can get 16 and we'll have a top cut, and we did. We did.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
it felt like an epic all-day event.
Yeah, it did take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts about that now after having been to another tournament that was significantly snappier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, ways that we could improve in the future.
I don't know.
Get people out before, what was it, 7 o'clock? 8? No, it was 8, I want to say, by the time I left.
Yeah, the top cut, it took things longer than otherwise it would be.
Yeah, true.
But it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. How did you enjoy the day?
It was good. I think I'm kind of over the NBN deck.
The asset spam.
Yeah, the asset spam one. I don't know. It was fun the first couple times, and then something about Daily Business Show just makes every game play out very similarly, because you're filtering your deck so much. I don't know. It felt like I was just doing the same thing. It was very identifiable when I was moving into the stage where I'm going to score things now. And, oh no, this is still set up,
How did you do on the day?
3-3.
Nice.
I should note, I beat Johnny in the last round. Just have to throw that out there.
He can't defend himself.
Yeah, exactly. He's not here to defend himself. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's also true. Look.
It's just facts.
Yeah.
I did significantly, well, no, I guess not significantly worse. I went 2 and 4, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of those games, I feel like maybe I was on the path to winning, but then we went to time. 35 minutes should be enough time, but
Yes.
we had a lot of new players, and which was awesome, right? Don't get me wrong. So many new players who, I don't know if this was maybe between game number 10 and 20 for some of these people.
Right.
Or some of them, I think maybe this was game 5. I'm showing up to a tournament. It's the 5th time I played Netrunner.
Right. Yeah, no, I think there was definitely some of that.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
I congratulate them.
And I played like a person who's only got 5 games in a couple of mine, so.
Yeah. When we get to our main topic segment, we're going to cut to some interviews we did with people, mostly, actually, I say interviews I did throughout the entire day. It was just me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you and Johnny would talk to some folks, but
yeah,
you didn't. So
that is true. I did not.
It's okay. Yeah. It's not for everybody. I enjoy it. And anyway, yeah, so we're going to hear from people throughout the day as I was able to catch a few spare minutes and say, hey, do you want to come talk? And I think almost everybody, it was like one or two people I didn't manage to catch on the mic.
Yep.
And we'll hear about people's stories, what decks they're playing, how their games were going, and all that. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But before that, let's jump into the only segment that we're going to cover in this episode. It's going to be abbreviated because of all the length of the interviews. And that's going to be Anonymous Tip. Anonymous Tip is our listener questions and feedback section. We got some great feedback after our last episode. One of the responses was somebody who I think maybe had responded by the time we had recorded our last one, but I forgot to include it. So this is Somefish 254.
Yep. That's how you say that.
You have to say
That's
it that
how it
way.
is normally said on the internet.
And Somefish suggested that another podcast they listen to, Lucky Paper Radio, I'm not familiar with Lucky Paper Radio, does voice clip submissions for their versions of Anonymous Tip, like this, or just to get hot takes from the community. And I would welcome that. If anybody wants to submit voice clips, recordings, you can open the voice memo app on your phone and record something, or hop on your computer and use that to record something and send it our way. We would be happy to play back clips from the community, from people in the community, as long as it is, I don't know. There are things we wouldn't play, I suppose, but you know, most stuff goes.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some editorial control. So
yeah. So please do that. I love that. So also Somefish continues, as a player who only started playing this year, I appreciate your current way of providing card information, which is to
read
talk about
out
it sometimes. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
read out everything too. I think that's big for a lot of people.
Regarding episode 2, I was sleeving an FFG core set only NBN deck last night, and I noticed I did not have any agenda flood mitigation. I'm glad we get Spin Doctor and System Gateway. I agree.
Yeah. It's a good card, turns out.
Also, this week I played a historical tournament matchup, Supermodernism versus Andromeda, at my locals. That deck chose to run 2 Anonymous Tip card draw. So Anonymous Tip, for people who don't know it, is...
Like me?
Yeah, I believe it's just 0 cost, draw 3 cards. Yes. 1 influence.
Wow. So just Diesel for Corpse.
Yes, Diesel for NBN. That deck chose to run 2 Anonymous Tip card draw and 0 Jackson Howard. Older, slower version of Spin Doctor, takes 2 clicks and 2. So yeah, Jackson Howard, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
This is just for Nick.
I have seen Jackson Howard, but I don't remember what he does.
He is Spin Doctor, basically. He is...
But he's 3
0
cards,
cost,
right?
Sorry?
Doesn't he do... Yeah, he shuffles up to 3 from archives into R&D.
So click to draw 2 cards instead of on res, 0 to res, and then remove Jackson Howard from the game to shuffle up to 3 cards from archives into R&D. So different, but very, very, very similar.
Yeah.
They chose to play 0 Jackson Howard, as the deck wanted to score early, and often the deck creator was an iconoclast. Thanks for the feedback, Somefish 254.
Yep. Yeah.
Nick, do you want to read the next response?
What is Andromeda? Can you, since we're informing me who has no idea, is that another deck archetype maybe? Or is that like an ID?
Andromeda was a criminal ID. Andromeda's ability was just to draw a starting hand of 9 cards.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Just made things more consistent.
Yep. That's like the one that gets kind of a side hand at the start of the game in Shaper. I forget what it's called. Isla Bios or something like that. Yeah.
Except you don't need to click to use those cards. You just have them. Then at the end of your turn, you better have played a few of them, or just you choose what to pitch. But
yeah. Do you
Andromeda
mulligan to 9 with Andromeda? Like when you're, I guess you would, you draw your starting hand of 9 and then you could mulligan away and draw 9 more.
Yes.
Huh. Not bad. All right. Next up, we have Zacchaeus Lee says, thanks for doing this podcast. Really appreciate the startup geared insights. Quick question / suggestion. Are the deck lists that you guys talk about publicly posted to Netrunner DB? If not, I think it would help us listeners follow along while listening to the cuts / inclusions you guys discuss. And I think that's a pretty good point. We do a lot of like, oh, deck tweaking and doctoring in those segments, and probably helpful for people to see them. So we'll have to make a point of that publishing when we've talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, we didn't. So I'm a little bit, I don't know. I love when people do that. Unfortunately, the decks that we were playing were also the decks that we were planning to take to our first tournament. And although we are not super tryhards, we are try-mediums. And I feel like publishing my deck list and then talking about it on a podcast and being like, I'm bringing this deck list that I have published. I don't know. I'm already giving away the keys to the castle, I guess, a little bit. But
yeah, I mean, I did exactly that. I said which specific NBN deck I was net decking to bring to the tournament. And I think my Asa deck was a little bit different from some of the published ones because I did make it myself. But, a lot of those cards ended up being pretty much the same.
We are also getting the opportunity to display extreme narcissism, assuming that everybody we play against has listened to the podcast and gives a shit about what decks we're playing.
There is that, too. That's also a good point.
Yeah. I'm not that important. It's okay. Thanks for the feedback. We are definitely going to try and do that. I will definitely make a point to publish the deck that I just took to another tournament. This past weekend, I went to my first standard tournament, and that you will hear about in our next episode. And I took a homebrew Isurak deck, and I will be posting that. And it did not do good. But
spoilers.
I'll show you exactly how to have a deck that doesn't even manage to be properly fun because you can't get it to do anything on the day of a tournament.
Ouch.
Yeah. I had great with it online. And then I got in person. I was kind of like, cool. You win. Can we just switch, please, already? This is rough. Okay, so we also had an email from Nix, who says, "Hi, Neon Static. I've been playing Netrunner since Creation and Control and recently come back from a break at the end of the FFG era to play Startup with some of the old players. I'm curious about what you all think, especially the newer Null Signal era players, on the FFG cards that have come back to Startup. If you could each pick one FFG card to come back and one existing FFG card to remove from the Startup pools, what would they be? Hard mode, no IDs. Personally, I'd love to see the 6 Fear the Masses return, as it was one of my pet cards. Let's read Fear the Masses. That is a 1-cost Anarch event. Run Sabotage subtype. Foreshadowing. Make a run on HQ. If successful, instead of accessing cards, force the corp to trash the top card of R&D. You may reveal X copies of Fear the Masses from your grip to force the corp to trash X additional cards. Limit 6 per deck. So, kind of like a Shatuska, but you need to have more than one copy, and it's cheaper, and it can be more impactful, but only if your entire hand is Fear the Masses, which is kind of it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Even then, it's only one card more than Chatushka, and you've just shown your entire hand to the corp.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be worth it if you trash 6 cards, but that's the pie in the sky moment.
That's fair.
Sorry, personally, I'd love to see the 6 Fear the Masses return, as it was one of my pet cards, and Sansan, and by Sansan I mean Sansan City Grid, removed due to its uninteractive playstyle. Loving the podcast and the focus on Startup. Keep up the good work, Nix."
This is Eric from the future, and upon editing the podcast, I realized that we never mentioned that we weren't going to answer the question here intentionally with respect to what cards would we swap in and out, because we want to talk about it more in depth in a later episode when we have Johnny back on the show and we can have time to have a good think about it. Back to the show.
I don't feel like Sansan is uninteractive, by the way. You need to protect it, even though it costs 5 to trash, and you need to identify when to do the fast advance.
Right.
And it feels really good when you pull that off, too. Like when they have the Sansan out, when the other player has the Sansan out and they've rezzed it and have maybe pulled one agenda off using it, like that is go time for the runner. Like you got to deal with that. Yep. And you have to deal with it. And you either need to go start attacking their HQ to make sure they don't have something to do the fast advance with, or go get that thing out of there.
Yep.
So I don't know. I find that very interactive. That's like, okay, here's what I got. Can you answer this? And if not, then sure, you win. But
Yeah. Yeah. At the same time, though, I can see because if you think about like the interaction from the runner's side, a lot of it happens when there's an agenda on the board or like in a place where you know there's an agenda for you to attack. Like otherwise, it feels a lot like fishing to me. But in this case, it's something on the board that you need to attack. Like that to me is one of the many ways in which the runner interacts, you know? But like not having to leave out some of the 3-2s and things like that for a turn to be able to score them could also be less interactive. You know, if it just goes from straight from hand basically to score area. I get it, but I don't know. Yeah. I still think it ends up on net being relatively interactive. And I say that, and then we're going to start playing standard, and there will never be an opportunity to take an agenda from a corp or something.
no, that's not true.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry about that.
That's what's going to happen. Trust me. I'm building standard up as this like boogeyman of overpowered cards in my head. So
Yeah, you need to stop doing that. It's not that scary.
Yeah,
it is really not. It is. I mean, there are new cards, and you will do the thing that I did in this tournament, where you just faceplant a lot, and you kind of go, "Oh shit, I didn't know I could die that way." And ProZD posted a very relevant video. I think in the last couple of days, or at least it's been making the rounds today and yesterday, where it's like him. I think the name of the video, we'll put a link in the show notes. It's like playing a card game against an experienced player for the first time. It's great.
yeah.
I think that is all we have for this section. We don't have any more feedback here. And I think with that, we're just going to jump right into interviews. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So we will hear you on the other side of Into the Depths.
Hey, this is Johnny.
This is Eric. We're here at the pre-registration period for Netrunner for our first tournament. It's 11:20, 10 minutes to start. Johnny, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. We got everybody registered, I think. We're at 15. I really want one more. Actually, I was was coming over here to ask you. We can just ask the participants. We have 15. If they want to do a top cut, we can just get a vote. Like, if people agree to it ahead of time, I think it's fine to not necessarily follow the rules.
Cool, yeah.
So I want to do that.
We got a head shake from Dan B, unless he's just shaking at something else. But yeah, okay.
He's on his NSG call.
Yes, yeah. It's all very exciting. I've been buzzing for about 24 hours, so this has been a lot of fun. We'll check back in throughout the day after we finish games and do spot interviews with community members who are interested, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And just an FYI, I net decked my runner deck, and it is an ID I've never even played.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. It's not Kit. I thought it was Kit.
No, I decided against it.
Oh my God. I'm excited to play against you when we're inevitably paired like 3 of the games.
Yeah, that happened to us a lot in L5R, which I thought was fun.
I think it's similar skill levels get paired, and the pool of people that you play with tend to have similar skill levels to the people you play with.
Right, yeah. So the first round, it's just random, but then after that, we would always get paired.
You get herded together. All
We'd
right.
be in the loser's pool.
We'll check back in as the day progresses.
See ya.
Bye. Hey, okay, so this is after round 3. It's going very smoothly, surprisingly. I kind of thought we'd have more hiccups at this point because this is our first tournament. And I'm here. I want to do like the first of our community profiles, like players that showed up for the game. So if you could just introduce yourself, and then we can talk about how our games went.
So, hello, I'm Derry Online. My tag is not again. You guys must have seen me in GLC or even in the Northeast Discord. I've been playing since 10 months now, and yeah, just recently taken a dive into Standard, but of course today's startup.
It's a start, yeah.
And it's been going great so far. Not for me, but just for general tournament.
Where are you at today for winning loss?
Well, the first one I lost. We were super close to time. I had a strong game. Like, I had scored like 4 points super early, but then I couldn't contest any remotes, so that was that.
And what are you on?
I was runner as Ken, and the opponent was built to last.
Yep.
And it was just impossible for me to find my breakers or money. And when I found one, I didn't have the other.
Yeah, of course.
The second game was we got timed out, but I had 5 points versus I think 4. It was all because of the over advanced Beal that I won.
Okay.
And
So you went to time, but you won on tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
and then the game just now was with you,
Yep.
which I luckily won.
That was
Super
a struggle.
luck.
I mean, I don't know. I did have some bad luck with trying to find agendas when I was ready to get them. And you scored some pretty early. You were on like 6 points right away. This is my precision design deck, and you're Ken, and I was thinking about Inside Job. I was like, oh, I don't know. I have one in hand. If I can score one out early, that's really good, and I can get ahead. Put one down in front of a piece of, it was like an Ice Wall or an Enigma or something, and of course, you immediately stole that.
Yeah. Criminals will do that to
Criminals.
you. Inside job you.
I looked over at some point when you had already scored 6 agenda points, and you had 2 cards on the table, and there was no rig. You had, did you even have a breaker at that point?
No, I only had a Penny Shaver and a Chesway.
Right,
That's
right.
it.
You just had money and coming in for days.
Yeah.
So the Penny Shaver is so much money. I mean, people talk about boat and how strong it is, but I feel like whenever I play against somebody doing a good job with Penny Shaver, it's just so oppressive that I can't ever make you broke.
Yeah.
In this deck too, I'm leaving holes all over the place for you to run.
Yeah, money is good. And plus I feel like I accidentally teched my Ken deck to be good against fast advanced decks. It just happened.
It's perfect.
Like 3 pinholes will just trash your whatever.
I had a sand. You
Like maybe
pinhole
you're
our
running
guys.
Managarm Skunkworks, maybe you're running Anotic Voids. I'll just trash it.
Yep.
So
Yeah. So you know that matchup pretty well. and,
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like you did. So I'm looking forward to getting that thing to do its thing a little more and firing 1 or 2. But yeah, I was kind of undecided on what to corp with. I knew I wanted to run Kit, and I'm running Kit. But
Yeah.
this one, it was like 50-50 between this and like a kill deck. So what's your corp?
my corp is near Earth Hub, but it's not as asset spam as you would think it is. And it's not even packing a kill.
Okay.
So what I'm on is 3x fun houses. 3x anvils are the key here.
Okay.
And then I have Retribution and Shipment from Vladispersk.
Yep.
And I don't have End of the Line, but I have End of the Line at home, which is orbital superiority when I score it with Shipment from Vladispersk.
That's nice. We have end of the line with home kids. Oh, I love that. That's cool. Well, I hope I haven't. If we come up against each other later, I will try to forget everything I just learned. So
Hopefully. I'm still, even if you do, there's...
it's a pretty casual
Yeah.
tournament. So yeah. Well, thanks for talking with us a little bit. We're gonna try and do more highlights throughout the day, and yeah, we'll check back in later. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Hold on. All right.
Hey,
Hello. It's Nick.
and Eric, I'm back.
Yes. I have yet to win a game.
Yes.
I want on a bye.
Yeah.
And then, wait, you just want me to tell the first turn death story? Is that it?
Yeah. Sure. Do that.
Yeah. Okay. First game, I last click ran, because I'm a noob, at something behind ice that I had Botulus the Ice, and it had 1 or 2 advancement tokens on it. Anyway, it was an Urtica Cipher, and I died immediately. So, yeah, first turn death. Managed to play a whole nother game. Won that one. Because I learned my lesson.
Congratulations.
But yes, that's been my experience so
what
far.
are
tonight.
you playing?
Oh, same stuff we've been talking about. Asa, go fast,
Right.
and near Earth Hub, go extremely, extremely slow and
You
wide.
stuck with your guns.
Yeah, basically. I just didn't want to build anything. Like, I thought about it. I was
lazy.
like, yeah, PE probably is like the same thing as this near Earth Hub deck, but it can kill people.
Yes.
And then I thought, but that, like, the cards are all the way over there on the floor, and I'm not doing that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
How about you? How you doing?
I am 1-2 right now. So I
All right, same record.
lost my first game on a tiebreaker. I just talked about this, so I won't go
Yep.
over too much. But this last game, actually no. Yeah, we just finished going through this, so I'm not going to reiterate for the sake of the podcast. We can
Right,
talk
fair.
offline.
Okay, yeah.
But cool. Yeah, we're going to check in with some more people and
Yeah.
see how it's going for them. Be back.
Cool.
All right, Eric's back. I'm here with someone else. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, no problem. I guess people in the community would know me as either Phil the Thrill or I'm Starscream Romeo on the Discord.
Okay,
So
that's you. All right.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's me.
I didn't recognize you from the photo on there, so I was like, well, he's around here somewhere. I haven't met him yet. So, yeah.
Yep. I know. That's the great thing about something like this is I normally the normal Wednesdays are tough for me to get out to, so I've been very looking forward to this, so I can put names with faces and meet people from the virtual space here in Meet Space. So,
Yeah. So, and how long was your drive this morning?
I live in Derry, so it was like maybe 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I
Cool.
am super local. Yeah,
That's amazing. How are your games going so far today?
I'm 2-1 right now, surprisingly.
Nice.
I've been having a ton of fun. It's been great to be playing again. I first started Netrunner right before Honor and Profit got released, so I am very much OG Netrunner. And then, of course, when FFG lost the license and all that, or they gave up on it, kind of sold my stuff. And then over time, I kind of heard about Null Signal and the game getting back, and then I saw signs here at the store about it, and they did, and posts, and so I finally took the plunge and got the startup set. So nice startup cycle tournament like this has been great for me to kind of get refamiliarized and all that. So
have you been playing a lot online or no?
Not so much online. I kind of prefer the in-person, getting to meet with people. I've tried Jinteki.net a few times. Actually, a few of my opponents were trying to nudge me into getting on there so we can play online more. So
if it can be a lot of fun, and using Discord to do like voice chat with somebody while you're playing, it makes it a whole different experience. A lot of people might not necessarily love that, but it's much closer to playing in person that way.
Yeah.
Any memorable moments? We just heard about the first turn kill from Nick, which was you were the killer, right?
Yes. No.
Was that not you?
No.
I'm sorry.
The one I think the one you're thinking of was my game 2 against Sati, actually, where...
Oh, that's right. He was... Yeah.
I was Corb. He was having a great go of it. He had 2 agenda scored. I was playing Jinteki PE, and he did a deep dive, I think it was.
Yes, deep dive, I heard, yep.
And so he did it as his last card, so he had 0 cards in hand. A very ballsy move as a crazy run on 4th click with very little cards in hand. I respected it a lot. But he did the thing I probably would have done, and he got so tunnel vision when he saw all the agendas flip that he didn't stop to think, and he just grabbed the agenda and scored it, and flatlined himself right there.
He said, "Now you lose the game because I'm PE." Yeah,
I not quite. I was like, bad news. I think he just killed himself.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you kind of go like, "Are you sure you okay?"
I didn't say anything. I was like, okay, maybe he's got something in mind. Let me see how this plays out. And he scored. And he was like, cool. So like I got 4 agenda points. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, you got 4 agenda points, but you're also on a one-way trip to the morgue because you just flatlined.
Yes. Yeah. PE lessons are hard lessons learned.
Yeah, definitely. But it's been great so far today. Everything tournament's been clicking along, so hope to see more of these in the future.
Cool. And, listeners can't see this, but my face hurts from all the smiling I've done today. It's like this is a dream. This is awesome.
Everyone's been super chill, and not only that, but I've been telling other friends, I was doing Netrunner tournament today, and they're like, I thought it was done. I'm like, no, man, it's back. It's still
alive.
Going. So I trying to get those more people interested and back into it. So. Cool. Fingers crossed.
Well, we are 15 minutes out from round 4, so we're going to cut it here and try and talk to one more person. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Thanks.
Yep. And I'm back again, and I'm here with...
Hi, David Gordon, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Users may recognize you as...
Formerly Dave of the Five Rings in Legend of the Five Rings fame, infamy, discourse, whatever. You'll also see me occasionally as SND Works, that's WURKS, in various places throughout the internet. I've been a writer for Cardboard Republic, and
Longtime cardboard flipper.
I have been a cardboard flipper for longer than some of your listeners have been alive.
Yep. So how's your tournament play going so far today? How you doing?
Solid. I'm at 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah. Came in, rolled in with, I had this whole thing where it's like, I could play this strategy or this strategy. Yeah, I'm just going to come playing what I know best, what I've been playing the most.
Yep.
Turns out that's actually a really good strategy.
Yeah.
Just play what you know.
Right. Yeah, making last-minute decisions can bite you. So you are on Sable, I know, right?
Yep. My runner is Sable. It is Sable in a Magical Christmas Land deck, which is the 3 deep dive, everything else criminal.
Yep. Shooting the moon.
And when the moon gets shot, it feels like it feels wonderful. I won the one game I had with her, and it really was like, just feels great.
Yep.
And again, there's nothing you can, if you get it off, it's great. If you don't, well, At least it's over quick usually.
Yeah, right. And what's your corp deck?
Corp deck is Wayland, built to last.
Yep.
So it's literally the idea. I have it as just make money because I remember that having more credits is good in this game. So ideally, I have the most credits, and I never have to worry about money.
Sure. What's your win con there? What are you trying to not to scout if you don't want to
no,
share?
no,
That's
I don't
fine.
mind.
I don't think we're going to encounter each other at top tables because I'm 1 and 2 right now. But
You never know. We got 3 rounds left.
I could submarine it.
You could submarine.
You could.
And so it's just your pretty straightforward score 7 victory points off of agendas.
Okay. Yeah. You're just trying to score out.
I'm just trying
behind
to
some
score
good
out.
ice.
Yep, just good ice. Pharos and Hordem are really my 2 tech plays. In an environment that runs a lot of cleaver, Pharos is just good.
Pharos is a nightmare.
And when you run into the occasional people that are trying an AI strategy, Hordem winds up being your tech play, and it really does shut down the AI decks.
Right. Cool. Yeah. This is a lot of fun. I am having a fantastic time getting to see some new faces. You brought a couple new people up, right? I mean, are both the people that you brought up today? They're basically brand new to the game.
Brand new to the game. They started playing about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and yeah, they are locals. Literally, one lives just down the street from me and is an old D&D friend of mine, and the other one's one of his old friends from high school. And yeah, they're enjoying this. They really both love. They love the theme. They love the entire concept of cyberpunk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they love competitive card games.
Yeah. One of your players, one of the people that came up with you, Weasel.
Yeah.
He thought that the whole tournament was double elimination. He lost 2 games, and he was kind of like, when the 3rd round started, he was like, "Oh, I get to play again?"
Yeah.
Like, yes, you get to play. We're playing 6
Welcome
rounds.
to Swiss.
Yeah,
we
playing,
do it European style here.
Right. Yeah. So, what do you think of the single-sided Swiss format? You haven't played Netrunner before this in a tournament, right?
Not on a competitive level.
Yeah.
This is my 4th time trying to get into Netrunner.
4th time's a charm.
4th time's the charm. That's what everyone tells me.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. I have I would love to see the 2-sided, I play the runner, you play the core, you play the runner, I play the core, just because I think that creates that way everyone gets to at least play both decks.
Right.
Like, I'm looking at this next one, the other person who's 3-0, Trillion, they're also just played Corp. So
Just played Corp because of a bye?
no, they played Corp last round. I played Corp last round. We're both at 3-0.
Oh.
So whoever gets to play this, one of us is going to be playing Corp next round.
Yeah.
And so whereas you can do the Corp runner,
Right. Fewer rounds though. You see fewer people, and
yeah.
And then what's the other thing that I've just because I think this encourages playing more Netrunner, honestly, because the intentional draws and 2-for-1s are fine, but
And also I think this is a really good icebreaker.
yeah,
I think this is going to get a lot of people in front of a lot of people.
It's like speed dating.
Yeah, it is. It's Netrunner speed dating, and we're going to be making friends.
yeah.
And we're going to be learning people, and we're going to be having fun, which is, I think, the most important part.
Cool.
Is just having more fun.
All right, we're starting back up pretty soon, so thank you for talking with me, Dave.
Thank
and
you.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Maybe we'll be
good luck.
talking to you
See
if
you
you're
in top 4.
Yeah, the
hopefully.
top 4. Yeah, right. All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Hey, Eric, back here talking with another player from our tournament. If you just want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Santi.
Santi.
Sachi on Discord.
Okay, cool. And where are you hailing from today?
So me and 2 other dudes came up from Boston.
Yep.
It was a quick drive. It was like an hour tops. I thought it was going to be way longer.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
out here in the boonies.
Yes. It's not so bad. For us up here, it's nice to. I go down to Boston every once in a while, like once a year maybe for some event. So it's not too bad.
Also, the venue is really, really nice. Like compared to, I don't know, it's just the sheer amount of space for doing stuff. Like the shop keeps getting larger the further back you go into. You say, okay, all right, there's got to be one table here out in the front. And
Yeah.
it turns out, no. This entire space. It's like 60% of the space.
Yeah, the play area in Midgard is really big. I'm looking across the room, and there's one. So one of the tables here has 8 people at it comfortably, and we have 3 tables technically that we could have had for the tournament. We only take up 2. We have 17 people here, and so we fully booked 2 tables, and then we have a by person walking around. But yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one half of the room, 5 8-person tables. So it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Double that. Yeah.
Huge.
tabletop space. The store has been great to us. That like they don't charge table fees or anything. We come once every other week. We're not giving them money right now for this tournament, but we're hoping next time to make a profit enough off of entries so we can give them a kickback.
Or do a PSA. Hey, everybody, go out there and buy something.
Yeah,
before you leave.
buy a snack, buy a game or something.
Surprise, surprise. Admission fee, but also if you want to be able to leave.
You're locked in. So how's the tournament going for you so far?
Awesome. So I only started learning how to play Netrunner about a month ago. And then halfway through that, I went on vacation and didn't get to play. Anyway, Dan B. Was like, hey,
Hype man extraordinaire for Netrunner.
Yeah, amazing. He was like, hey, I'm heading up. Tagged me in the post and was like, you should come. I'm like, we haven't played in like a month, but this dude is being gracious enough to, enable the better parts of my character to get up and do something cool on a Saturday, as opposed to just being, I'm gonna be inside and not do anything.
I relate,
but it's been awesome. I kind of, as I'm going to allude to now, had some interesting cards in my corp deck that were very good and totally legal. I was leaning on my shovel very heavily because I was like, yeah, this is baby's first like deck build in this whole thing and like getting to understand stuff. But the thing I was most amped for was like getting to be around people who have played for a long time relative to the game, right? For a long time. And getting to learn stuff. And just like getting to get some clarification on the things where I'm like looking at the old Fantasy Flight PDF and looking at this thing and saying, okay, hold on, maybe I think this is what this means.
I'm glad that you're saying this on that. So what you're trying, you alluded to that you had a couple of illegal agendas. You had like Blood in the Waters in your Pravdivos deck.
Yep.
So unfortunately, you're getting game losses for that. But we sat down and you said I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is you're gonna win this game. I got a game loss, but the good news is that or the bad news was the bad news. You lose.
The good news for you was that you get to win this game, and the good news for me is that I now get to hold you hostage and you have to teach me stuff.
This is great. So I don't know. I think it's good for people to hear that. Like, if you were intimidated about coming to play in a tournament, I'm hoping that several people here that I've talked to are brand new to Netrunner and or were relatively new, right? And they have never done a tournament. This is their first tournament. And I don't know, do you agree that like the atmosphere is pretty welcoming? And
I think a solid 60% of the reason why I even like wanted to play this game past the first meetup that I went to is that everybody in the community is super nice. I come from Boston, so I don't think it's a local affectation. I think it's just like the self-selection process, the complexity of the game, and the fact that there isn't really like people will compete to get cool thing or cool alt art, but there isn't this like
there's not money on the line.
This economic element of like, oh, I could build this deck because I pulled these things out of a booster and now I can do this thing. And you can't because you didn't, haha.
Not to name any names.
Yeah, not to name any other cardboard products of note and notoriety. But yeah, it's super cool. The community's, for me, kind of what really makes it work. Like, I find the game really mechanically interesting. I'm not the sort of person who's I haven't played TCGs since I was in my late teens. But a little while ago, I was just like, I need to stop feeling guilty every time I enjoy something and maybe go out and find cool things that you can do with people that are fun and engaging and not necessarily just how is this going to further a career or something, aspiration, goal, et cetera, et cetera.
This whole thing for me, I met Nick, one of the hosts of our podcast. I met Nick playing an LCG, doing this, came out to a store and was finally like, all right, I'm going to go. So it's a great way to make friends, as a grown up. It's hard to make friends, and having the excuse to be like, I have this game that I have to play with other people, otherwise it's not as fun, is a great way to go meet people. So,
yeah. And you heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks. This is
Netrunner is the adult friend generator.
Go play Netrunner. Go make friends. Leave your house sometimes.
Yeah, Dave
but
earlier.
If you don't want to, Jinteki.net.
With voice chat, it's still pretty fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Dave earlier was alluding to how you get to see a lot of faces and stuff, and I made the comment that Netrunner's like this single-sided Swiss like this today. It's like Netrunner speed dating. So,
yeah. This is also my first tournament of any kind, with like any card game or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
I
had skimmed like the rules for like, oh, this is what single-sided Swiss is, and here's the benefits versus this other thing. I was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, moves fairly quickly. I mean, we've been here
since
wow.
11:45 we started. Yeah.
We had an hour for lunch, so we'll say that was 4 hours maybe.
Yeah.
No,
fifth
less.
Round? This was the 5th round? Okay, I think it's the 5th round. Yeah. We have one more.
Yeah, 45,
then
a tight
top cut.
45 minutes around, basically.
Yep. Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah.
And, we'll check back in after we'll interview when you win the tournament later.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
By only playing
way
runner
later.
for the rest of the game. Yeah.
Notice he didn't say this tournament.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. All right. I'm here with Dan. Can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. My name is Dan McCarthy. My gamer tag is FunkyMan232. If you see me in the New England Netrunners Discord, that's me.
We just had to do a second take because your name distracted me I was like, oh my God. And I just started thinking about Funky Man. How has your game experience been here today at the tournament?
It's been great. This is my first time at any Netrunner tournament. It's my first time being like a big game store playing card games with folks. Netrunner is my first like competitive card game. So this has been like a fantastic introduction to the game. I've been to a few meetups, but this was awesome. So I'm so glad I came.
Cool. That's awesome. I cannot believe how many people I talked to today who said that. I thought that I know the Boston meta. Where are you from? The Boston area?
Yeah, I'm from the Boston area. Boston meta.
I know that the Boston meta has been playing for a long time, and I kind of assumed there was going to be a bunch of tryhards coming up and showing us the ropes. They seemed nice, very nice, and to make the trip up. But I assumed that everybody coming from that meta was going to be experienced and like kicking our butts. And it's really cool to hear that in that area that we're all the way up here in New Hampshire. We're only an hour away, but we've helped to get new people to pull them in, and that's super rewarding for me.
Absolutely. So. I'm so glad to hear it. And I think the biggest reason that didn't happen is because you chose to have a startup tournament.
Yeah.
All of the tryhards in Boston, who are great, who have been very nice to me, play standard. And they will play startup with me, but they're not going to travel for it.
Right.
And instead, you selected for all the folks who are really curious, really interested, having fun with startup, and driving up, and I'll toot my own horn a little bit. I drove 2 other folks up.
Yes. Okay, that was you.
Yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
me. I drove a lot of interest in this. The other 2 have said that like they weren't going to come otherwise. So I was hoping it'd be an even smaller tournament, and I could sweep the table. But no, no, it's been awesome, and I'm so glad you guys got a big turnout, and I hope you can keep it up.
Yeah. So what were you playing today?
Yeah, I was playing the nuclear submarine Padma boat deck.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't as confident in my running, so I wanted like a good deck, and it's really done work for me, so I've done pretty well. On the corp side, I took some inspiration from Startup Modernism, watching a lot of Metropole Grid, shout out.
Of course.
But I made a couple tweaks. I added like a biotic labor, I added some anvils. Ooh. The anvils were really helpful for boat. It was making some really interesting decisions. Not a perfect solution, but a fun one.
Yeah, if you can stay, because you have to discard a card from hand every time, right? So if you can stay...
Not from hand. You discard an installed
card. That's right. That's right. Yes. So you're able to keep up with that fuel of trashing your own cards to force them?
For the most part, because the deck runs a lot of ice, and the deck also runs a ton of money. And so I can just install the cards and not even res them. So just having a few pieces of ice that I don't mind leaving was good, especially because I couldn't draw a lot of agendas in the deck. Like they came pretty sparingly.
Yeah.
So I was able to keep up enough. I think I still eventually lost that game with the anvils, but it made a huge difference.
Yeah. Did you flatline anybody?
I did. I flatlined Johnny, tournament runner. I felt really bad. It was like turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
He was going to take another hit of the liberated accounts, and instead he drew a card, and I just public trail and the line took him right down. Felt bad. Felt good.
Yeah, yes. It's a bittersweet feeling in that runner.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we just finished up round 6. The top 4 here. We had 17 people to officially drive the need for or I think it's suggested format, but the format suggestion is to have a top 4 cut. So our top 4 are performing right now. Did you get to play against any of them?
I did, yeah. I had a crazy killer game just before the top cut with Dan B.
Okay.
And I was kind of running the show for a bit. I had conduits out. I had a Awaken plan. I was like regularly seeing the 6 or so cards, but I was having a really hard time scoring. And right at the very end, he made a crazy play, put out a bunch of cards, just a single naked agenda on the table. I ran the wrong 2, then tried to see more on R&D. And missed it.
Those are the moments.
I know. And what's crazy is he didn't win the game from it. He tied the game. That was the tie. We had a true tie.
Were you on the cusp of making the cut?
I was. Yeah, it's okay. It was my second tie of the day, so
Yeah.
I was like living on borrowed time.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy game. I'm still on the adrenaline from it.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, thanks for talking with me, and we're gonna check back in with the top 4 after the, somebody, I think, after we run a couple more rounds. So, thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, Eric here. I'm back with my friend James. Oh, I've been letting everybody introduce themselves, but I didn't let you introduce yourself.
Hey, how's it going? I'm James.
So, James, this is your first Netrunner tournament, yeah?
Yes, first time. It was good. It was a good time. I had previous experience with Netrunner back in the day, and Eric convinced me to come around. And being a new player, I felt very welcomed, and it was a good experience.
Cool. That's awesome. So, 6 rounds. How did it go for you? What did you play today?
Played Corp 3 times, and I played Runner 2 times. And I ended up I ended up drawing twice and losing 4 times.
4 times, yeah.
Yep.
I had a similar record.
Yeah.
I was pretty lopsided towards the losing side as well.
Yeah.
What were your decks? What were your IDs?
So, yeah, I played a Jinteki deck, and I played the boat Padma deck.
Padma deck. So Padma, and then your Jinteki deck was Restoring Humanity?
Correct, yeah. Restoring Humanity. Which, I'm still learning how to play both of those decks. I was, I net decked them, just tried to find a deck that looked like something I could handle, and they were definitely beyond my initial comprehension, but... after playing, these games today and playing a few casual games, I definitely feel like I've understand the game much better than I did coming in, which is cool.
Yeah, you jammed them.
That was kind of my goal, was to come into this and learn more about the timing windows and learn more about the flow of the game. And so, yeah, from that perspective, I was able to achieve that. So it was a win.
All right.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Cool.
It was like six rounds, and then you kept playing some casual games over there with some other folks while the top cut's going on. So
yeah, and I think that's a testament to the community. A lot of nice people, and I wasn't done. I wanted to keep playing, which is, like I said, a testament to the community and also a testament to a pretty fun game. So I would encourage players that are new to give it a shot.
Awesome. Yeah. That's a ringing endorsement. Well, thanks for chatting with me,
yeah, absolutely.
James.
Anytime.
All right. All right, back here again, for the 19th time, me just saying Eric back here, and then like 3 minutes of interview, and then I just do it again and again.
Mm-hmm.
You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Trillian, or Sophie.
So, are you from the Boston area?
Yeah, so I grew up in the greater Boston area, but I just moved up to Vermont.
Right.
I'm sort of in that like central White River Junction area.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you traveled for, how far was the drive to get here today?
It's just an hour and a half down.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, an hour and a half is a lot when you're in Boston, but when you're in Vermont, it's we're just going places.
Yeah, just going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So your scene, there are people playing out there, but not too many, or what's the deal?
So right now, I haven't found anyone playing up there. I'm trying to get something started, although I'm being a little slow on the uptake.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting some people interested, but yet to I might do a teaching session or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to.
What's the local game store that you would play at, or give a
So
spot?
there are 2. There's Black Moon Games, which is actually in New Hampshire, in Lebanon.
Right, near the border.
Yeah, and then there's Fourth Place Games in Hanover, which is where Dartmouth is.
Okay. So if anyone's listening and you were in that area and you want to play Netrunner, reach out on Discord to Trillian GLC.
Yep.
Start up a scene. That'll be awesome. How were your experiences today? You've done really well today.
It's my first time in the top cut, so I'm thrilled. I'm glowing.
Nice. So what were you playing?
So I brought Padma and a Replicating Perfection deck.
Restoring Humanity? Right?
Yeah, Restoring Humanity.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wanted to double check myself that I wasn't. Yeah.
No, I'm totally fried.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I would be too. So that was super exciting for me to see the Restoring Humanity deck doing so well. And
You're the only one who's been excited to see it today.
Oh, really?
Nobody wants to play Jinteki right now.
Restoring Humanity?
Well, yeah,
I
mean,
would, if I sat down across the table from a PE deck, I would maybe understand that a lot more.
I did almost bring PE, and then I remembered that I'm trying to make friends. So I figured if I want anyone to invite me back, I probably shouldn't bring the PE.
Yeah. Well, so if you mind, what was your deck doing? What were you trying to do with it?
Yeah, so my Corp deck was a bunch of dumping stuff in archives and then cycling it back.
Were you on Nanocivic?
Yep, Nano Civic. The original deck didn't have any Nano Civic grids in it. Can't understand why. So it also had some Anoetic Voids. I cut down the ice and the Anoetic to add in the Nanny. And that was, I hadn't played a deck of that style before. Honestly, I'm not sure if I should tell this story because it reflects very poorly on me, but I showed up to this tournament a month early.
Oh, God, that was you.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So embarrassing.
I forgot about
was
that.
so nervous. I sleeved up my decks. I drove an hour and a half down from
God.
Vermont. I got here. I was like, screwing around.
So far for you, too. I didn't realize. Oh, I didn't connect the dots with the
No, it's so
usernames and everything. Oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry that
No,
happened.
totally me. And I got out of the house, and that's a real win if you're in Vermont.
Well, you knew where you were
February.
driving today, so.
Yeah, I at least knew where I was going, knew the scene I was going to, so that helped with the nervousness. But I drove myself back home and screwed around the local game store to make myself feel better. And my friends online were like, "Oh, well, at least you have another month to practice your decks now. I know you're really worried." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." These decks I found net decking at work.
No, it's fine.
Whoops. Yesterday. Sleeved them up this morning.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you practiced them for a month, and I was going to say
no,
that's pretty good.
how this story should go, that I realized I had an extra month and then I practiced for a month. But no, I ended up continuing to play my Trash Essa deck, which I love, and my Built to Last deck. Which I didn't bring because they're both awful. I hope someday I can get them to work.
Are they published or no?
Not right now.
Yeah.
The deck I've been... Yeah, nothing published yet, but I'll let you know.
I've been meaning to try and publish some of the decks that I've been brewing around with, but...
Yeah, they're not safe for human consumption currently. If you really want to know what nightmare trash I'm running, hit me up on GLC.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
It's bad. But I net decked these, made them worse last night, lost a couple of games on JNet, went, okay, guess it's time to go to bed. Woke up, sleeved up my decks, drove here, and I ended up doing okay. So
top 4.
Yeah.
Did you? So that was. Did you just get eliminated that round?
I did just get eliminated. It
was a
was
very close game.
Yes, it was a close game and a glorious loss, but I face planted.
Very tense moment. The whole 4 or 5 people standing around the table. 6 points in your score area. I looked over because I was watching the other game and I heard excitement, and a deep dive goes down and we watch. The whole table just snaps over and starts watching.
The only thing I had left in my grip was 3 deep dives because everything else had gone to the trash.
And we watched card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nothing, 6, nothing, 7, nothing. Everyone going, oh my God, 8, nothing. And you got access a ping and
totally whiffed.
And then next turn, was that over?
Yep. Next turn, my opponent scored out. But I had 2 more deep dives in hand, so I could have kept on going with the circus.
Yeah.
But
so you pulled the trigger at the right time, right? That's. Those are the moments that this game produces so consistently and beautifully. It's awesome. I
Not
love
only that, but I wasn't accessing by any. So my draws were just awful for the game. I had my endurance and rigging up on top of the deck, but no credits. And then the entire middle of my stack was all of my econ cards, and the bottom of my stack was my last endurance right at the bottom. It was, oh gosh, I don't have any money. I guess I'll just hold on to this endurance until I can install it without going broke.
Yeah.
Then just money. Then I ended up just tearing up my board state and taking 5 tags to make those accesses too. So
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Anvil's brutal ice. It's
I was going to
really
say
cool.
Anvil is what tore it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was against what was the deck that you were playing that one against? An NEH?
It was it was NEH.
Yeah. NEH, but not. I think we heard this is from Not Again, right? So NEH kind of fast advance, not really like trying to kill you. Was it fast advance? I can't remember.
Yeah. There was some fast advance in there. Yeah. That's the form the tag punishment was in. The that new card. The new fast advance yellow card.
Shipment from Vladimir.
Yes, that's the one.
That's 4, right? 4 advancements.
I
on a single
think
card,
so,
but 2 tags.
But 2 tags,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. I've not got that to fired because I can't stick 2 tags consistently. So.
Yeah, I was sort of screwing around with I don't think he has tag punishment, so maybe I'll take some tags, and then
that's how they get you.
Yeah. And then I cleared them, and then I got to a point where I had no money, so I was
Yeah.
like, I guess I'll take the tags. But
All right. Well, thank you for driving the long way out. Again, if anybody, please, if anybody is in the area, reach out. And thanks for coming.
yeah, thanks so much for hosting. This has been awesome.
Cool. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I'm here with, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Weasel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm having people introduce themselves, because a lot of people in the community are much happier with an alias than a full name. So that's awesome. So this was your first Netrunner tournament, yeah?
This was my first Netrunner tournament. Yeah, I've only been playing a month, so
And Dave got you into it, is that right?
Dave got me into it. Yep.
Okay. So you've been playing for a month, and I've seen you around our Discord. I don't think we've managed to play online yet together.
We have not,
because I don't know if our schedules intersect or something like. But how did you come across like the decks that you built and played for today? Did you use NetTech, or you've been actually brewing some interesting things and talking a lot about?
Yeah, I do a lot of theory crafting on my own. It's just when I sit down to play games, especially like card games, I have a lot of fun playing with the different pieces to see what I can fit together to see what works.
Yep.
So when I built the Jinteki deck first, which runs Personal Evolution. Just because, I love the idea of I don't need to score to win if you die.
Right.
So
yes, it's one of the charming parts about Netrunner is that
right. It's a lot of fun. So I'm coming from a background for playing Magic the Gathering for a really long time, and Penger decks were something that was always a lot of fun. So
just death by 1,000 cuts.
Oh yeah. Yep. So I put the Personal Evolution together to start working on that.
What was your PE deck featuring? Was it the heart of it, you think?
Part of it was mostly the snares, Anemone, and Nightmare Archives.
Right. Nightmare Archives features, featured heavily. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then, just using Spin Doctor's simulation resets to try and keep my deck, keep the snares out of my archives and back in my deck and just keep things moving.
Did you have any other traps besides the snares and the nightmares? Did you have like Urtica Ciphers or anything like that?
I don't like Urtica Cipher.
Yeah.
And I definitely need to hit the drawing board because that was all I had.
Okay.
I did try to load up on some solid ice, but your options were limited and like I said, it definitely needs some work, but I've definitely gained a lot of experience here that will help guide me to build better.
Awesome. What was your runner?
My runner was Reyna.
Okay, I didn't see Reyna today, so
No.
I saw her around.
Reyna stuck out. When I first started to build a runner deck, I was going to go with Issa because I like the idea of just running hot and
kind of tearing yourself apart.
Again, back in MTG, I was playing a lot of token sacrifice engines.
Okay.
And Issa feels like that, where she's just burning through her own resources to get stuff done.
Right.
So that really resonated with me. But when I started actually looking at the cards to build a deck, I saw things like Xanadu and Cat's Cradle and Tread Lightly, and I was like, wait a second.
Because Cat's Cradle is the code gate increased res cost. Yep.
So I was like, well, if I just get Reyna, then I can tax the corp anytime they want to res ice and make it really expensive for them and like kind of blow through them.
So Reyna is it every ice or is it the first ice each turn?
It's the first ice each turn.
It increases the cost of res ice by 1, and Xanadu does that for every ice, right?
For everything, yep. And then Cat's Cradle is for code gates only.
Right.
And then you stack the Tread Lightly on top of that for a +3 to every ice.
Yeah.
And I have managed to win one game before this tournament with that, which was great. Corp had like 3 ice down, and I had the resources to go through anything that they could potentially res, and they could only res 1.
Yeah. Cool.
So I thought this deck felt really great, and I had any time that I started getting rolling today, I just got hit with direct damage and died.
Okay. Yeah. So you got flatlined a couple times?
I got flatlined on both runner games.
Yeah. So you were the recipient of I gotta say, probably the best prize that was given out today, I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Coming in last definitely paid off.
Yeah. So we had a Scorched Earth prize And this was donated by Dan B from Null Signal Games, and he brought up one of the Hikaru playmats from, I think it's last season's circuit opener. But I started, January, so that was before my time. And I've seen them around, and I love the Hikaru art. And we gave that out to the player who played all of their games and the most, the complete set of 6 Swiss games and came in last place, and that was you.
Yep.
And it's a pretty nice prize, and I'm kind of jealous.
I don't recognize which card it is, but
it's from an ice that's really nasty
right.
out of HB.
I do recognize it as ice, but I just see it as shark with arms.
yeah, right. Yeah, beefy arm shark. I think it's a core damage base card.
Probably, yeah.
Give you that,
It definitely has an HB color scheme.
Yeah. So hopefully, you're hooked and you're going to come back and play in future tournaments. That's awesome. That's
Absolutely,
really good.
Yeah.
There's so many people today on this recording that this was their first tournament, and we've had I feel like a great success today. So
yeah,
cool. Thanks for chatting with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm back with the champion, the undefeated champion of the day.
Yep.
Dave, congrats on the tournament.
Thank you.
God,
Thank you for running this whole thing.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm over the moon. This is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
We were honestly expecting
inaugural tournament, 17 players.
Yeah.
Several of us who have several people. This is their first tournament ever. People coming for an hour, 2 hours away. We had Dan, who's one of the people in Null Signal Games here. This was amazing. Congratulations to you for running a fantastic event.
Thanks. Thank you. That's awesome. We honestly thought it would be me, Johnny, Nick, and you and 2 other locals or something.
Yeah.
When we were originally planning it. And we were like, well, I hope we make the money back from the kit or,
Yeah.
and we had 17 people. And it was awesome.
And again, part of this is Netrunner is huge. Netrunner is really popular. It's a really fun, really accessible game. And yeah.
Awesome. So, congratulations on your wins. So, what was your record for the day? It was
because I did I didn't want to knock somebody out of playing in the final 4. I went with we did the
intentional draw.
Intentional draw. So it was 9 rounds total or 10 rounds total did I play?
We had 6 Swiss.
6 Swiss.
And then I think there were
2,
4
so
rounds.
I played 9, so I went 9-0-1.
9-0-1, yeah. So
no,
so,
wait.
Yeah, that's right.
8-0-1.
That's right.
9 rounds, 8 wins, 1 tie, intentional.
Yeah. And last game here, you were corping again.
Corp, yep. Wayland built to last.
Wayland. So talk about the Wayland built to last set, because I was under the impression that you were playing a super modernism classic advance fast, but also threaten to kill the whole time deck.
Yeah.
And that wasn't.
No. So I started out. I originally tried playing that style, that startup modernism, and I found that I can do this, but this just seems to be holding me back. When if I just took all of the pressure that I would be doing on that and instead just focused on having just really good ice that is just stupidly expensive to break, and even with the boat meta, if I can just. That's honestly what happened. I never saw an endurance. I saw 1 endurance in the last turn of 1 game.
Right, come down unexpectedly too. I think I saw that.
I wasn't really unexpected.
Well,
I was playing against
down,
a shaper.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's never unexpected.
But the start of turn comes down.
Yeah.
I heard you. Oh, there's the boat.
There's the boat.
Yeah. But up against a triple advanced Pharos. That's the only So this was up against a cleaver with a KCT. What is
the turbine?
The turbine. Which with the turbine.
Yep.
Is 12 to break that sucker.
Yep.
It's nuts. It's fully
even
break
more
it.
so without it.
Yeah. Yes, right. Insane without it. You just don't do it. And you probably even don't do it with the turbine.
So Pharos is literally my meta pick for seeing Cleaver with turbines, as just everyone runs Cleaver. And straight up, Pharos is just worth it because you triple advance that, suddenly it's strength 10. If they don't have a hush to drop it back down to 5, you're just sitting on a really good breaker. My other little meta pick that I didn't actually wind up having to use is the Whoredom, because if I ran into somebody running a spicy AI Mayfly, I'm just going to get through.
Oh, Mayflies, that's
triple advance or Maskarov or not Matryoshka.
Yeah, did you see any of those today?
Did not see any, but if I do, I can triple advance Whoredom.
Can't be broken.
And now it can't be broken by AI.
Right. So
That was your corp, and we already talked a little bit. What was your runner again?
My runner was Sable.
Sable, that's right, of course. And did well? Did you have any like very early multiple deep dive wins?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Almost all of my. Well, none of them were won on the multiple deep dive. But I had multiple games where by turn 2 I was on game point due to deep dive.
Deep dive, yeah.
So the quick story behind this deck, dear listeners, is I may have gone on a little bit of a salty tear about identifying the mark. And Eric here said, Dave, you're being salty. And I'm like, I don't think I am. And he's like, no, you are. Sable. And I'm like, Sable ain't that good. He's like, with a deep dive, she's really good. And I went, no, I refuse to believe this. No. You know what? Prove me wrong. He's like, I'm not going to prove you wrong, Dave. I don't have enough time in the day. I'm like, you know what? I got enough time in the day to prove me wrong. Sure, let's do this. So I threw together a just straight criminal deck with 3 deep dive. That's my only splash.
You built it in a way I would not have either, so yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose. And I won my game. I'm like, that was a fluke. That was a high roll. Then I won another.
Yeah.
Then I kept playing it because I kept wanting it to be wrong.
Yeah, right.
But it isn't.
Yeah. It's interesting because you're also running like 3 of each program, right?
3 of each
Which
breaker.
We're all going like, no, don't do that. And,
and 3 of mutual favor.
I mean, skill is not to be discounted. You are as we said earlier in our earlier interview, a veteran cardboard flipper, right? So you manage the triggers very well. You did a good job piloting those decks. But obviously, like, you did something right there and created something really good. So
it is. I really enjoyed it. It's not my ideal preferred style, but I cannot argue with results.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your win, thanks for coming. Everybody who's listening, hopefully this was enjoyable to you to hear everybody's thoughts. We're going to try and make a habit of maybe being able to do this, like when we run tournaments. Just how's it going? What are you playing? What cool things have you seen? So let us know if you find this kind of content interesting. So thanks.
Thank you for listening, and keep in mind, Neon Static is an awesome show.
Thanks.
Welcome back from the interviews. Hope you enjoyed that. Nick, did you enjoy them?
I sure did. I've definitely heard them before.
All of them?
Yes.
Just now?
Yep. We're not awkwardly recording this just to kind of tack on to the end. Definitely not. It's all real time. No edits.
And that's a wrap for episode 4 of Neon Static. We've been your host, Eric.
And Nick.
If you want to get in touch with us about anything we've said during this podcast, we can be reached by email at neonstaticpod@gmail.com. We're also neonstaticpod on Instagram and Twitter. Our handles on Discord are Canister, Triforce Legend, and Goldbrander. A link to the New Hampshire Netrunners Discord will be in the show notes, where you can always find us as well. Thanks for listening, and good night. Nick, say good night.
Good night.
Yeah.